Today I'm gonna be streaming the STS Downfall beta with a character that has not yet been released and is currently in testing. So if you don't wanna spoil for yourself what their character is gonna be, then probably turn off the stream right now. Otherwise, yeah, let's take a look at the new character. It's on the second page and it's gonna be the Automaton. The city's mechanical guardian leads the Spire's bronze orbs. Our starting relic is the bronze core. The first function you compile each combat costs one less the turn it is compiled. Whatever that means. We are gonna see how compiling works. I haven't played with their character yet at all, so I don't know what that means, but I've seen some things that might be the effect of compiling cards. We'll see when we do that. We also have 70 HP, which is about average, I would say, and the usual 99 souls to start with. So let's jump into the game with the Automaton. Hi John, welcome! Glad to see you here. So, before we look at the Niao option, let's look at our starting deck. We have 4 strikes for defense. We have go to, draw 1 card, compile, draw 1 card, encode. Compile, an additional effect that triggers when this card, while in the sequence, is combined into a function. Encode, add a card to the sequence. When 3 cards are in the sequence, their effects, other than encode, are compiled into a function with cost equal to the highest cost card in the sequence. Replicate, deal 4 damage, encode, then add a copy of this into your discard pile. Okay, so basically when we encode, we copy the card's effect, and as soon as we have 3 of them, we combine them together into a function, which is gonna be a card of its own. The first function you compile each combat costs 1 less the turn it is compiled. Okay. Transform a card, max HP. Choose a rare color as to obtain. Let's not switch our boss relic for the first run. Let's try transforming a strike and see what we get. Backtrace. Innate. Deal 11 damage. So it's basically a backstab, but with compile, function gains exhaust. Encode. Oh, so if we use backtrace to compile a function, that function will then exhaust after we play it. Anyways, let's jump into a combat and see how this plays out. Let's look at some upgrades first. Here's still the Champ's artwork. I think the campfire artwork for this character hasn't been made yet. Backtrace becomes 15 damage. Replicate deals 6 damage. And go to draws 2 cards and on compile another 2. That's a lot of card draw. I think if we want to use replicate at all, and I think I do want to do so, then we should probably upgrade it, because it's gonna copy itself, so the upgrade matters quite a bit. Sequence. Function. Currently nothing in there. Let's see what happens when we play Backtrace. Backtrace gets added, and we see our function now is Trace. Deal 11 damage, exhaust. Currently 0 cost, but that will soon change. Let's replicate. Deal 11 damage, deal 6 damage. Oh, so the encode effect doesn't. The effect after encode doesn't get added. So it doesn't copy itself. Sneaky copy. Let's add a goto to it. Sneaky copy G. Deal 11 damage, deal 6 damage, draw 1 card. These cards are also gone now. They're not exhausted. Interesting. Okay, let me look at these again. Compile. An additional effect that triggers when this card while in the sequence is combined into a function. Oh, I see. So it's not that the function gains another draw a card. It is when we create the function, we trigger the compile effect. So at that point, when we create the function, get it into our hand, we draw 1 card. That's interesting. Other than encode. There are effects other than encode. So everything before the encode, because then add a copy of this into your discard pile, also didn't make it into the function. Which is good to know. Delayed slice. Deal 3 damage. Compile, all enemies lose 10 HP. Interesting. Repulsor. Exhaust the first status or curse card you draw each turn. That is shared with the Guardian actually. Deal 10 damage. Compile, insert a wound. Encode. Huh. Insert, add a card to your draw pile. That makes sense. Delayed slice. So 3 damage right now for 0 cost. But then it combines into a function that deals... No! It triggers the function only deals the 3 damage. When you combine a function, it triggers the all enemies lose 10 HP. It's lose HP, that's very interesting. I don't think I want to add wounds to my deck. Let's try out this delayed slice for now. We have quite a few 0 costs, especially with the replicates replicating themselves. Actually, the replicates don't replicate, not like anger, that it becomes more and more the more you play this card. It's just it encodes and it still stays in your deck, so it can be used to create even more functions. But still, that's... Well, these 0 costs basically have exhaust with encode, so they don't stay in our deck. Still, I'm gonna upgrade the go-to for some more card draw. Helps me find my encodes earlier as well. Let's go for an elite. Let's go with delayed slice. Gives me slice. Delayed trace. When compiled, all enemies lose 10 HP, function gains exhaust. The function is also currently 0 cost. Now we get delayed trace R, which is just a bunch of damage. Let's start compiling the next function with the goto. Sprint. And we kill the frontliner and start working on this middle enemy. I'm a little bit short on the kill there. Running copy. Draw 2 cards, deal 6 damage, deal 6 damage. That's a pretty good 1 cost. These functions are quite powerful. Centennial Puzzle, the first time you lose HP each combat, draw 3 cards, a Dex Potion. Terminator, deal 5 damage. Compile, if this is the last card in the sequence, double its damage. Ooh, interesting. Iterate, deal 2 damage 3 times, encode. Well, then also encodes. Get latest, add a random card with encode to your hand, it costs 0, exhaust. Becomes 0 cost on upgrade. Terminator looks very interesting. Gonna go with that. What do we wanna do here? Let's use goto to make our first function, because the first one we create costs less. Then delayed slice. Use the copying trace to draw more cards. We found replicate. Then we can use the terminator to create another function. Oh, it doesn't double the entire function's damage. It only doubles the damage of the terminator effect itself. Let's go for that, actually. Instead of defending here. We'll draw a few extra cards here. Oh, we now have a very good damage card in the cycle. Safeguard, gain 13 block, compile, gain 1 frail. Encode. Fine tuning, increase all numbers on cards in the sequence by 1. Oh, that's potentially very powerful. Force shield, costs 1 less for each function created this combat, gain 12 block. I like the idea of safeguard, that seems like a very good block effect. And we are lacking those a bit right now. Branch. Choose. Deal 6 damage or gain 5 block. Encode the option not chosen. Very interesting. Bronze Orb. Innate. Deal 6 damage, gain 6 block. Encode a random card with encode in your draw pile. Huh. Turbo. Gain 2 energy, insert a void. We share that with the defect. Does it upgrade the same way? No. It upgrades to retain. Max output. At the start of your turn, draw an additional card and insert 1 dazed. Huh. Anything else that's new here? Not really. What do we need? I don't think Force Shield is gonna be very good at the moment, but it will become quite useful a bit later, I assume. Branch or Bronze Orb look interesting. Card removal would also be nice. Helps us get to our encode cards a bit faster. Let's remove a Defend and buy a Branch and see how that goes. Let's see what Go-To gives us. I'm also gonna go for Branch for damage. Running Branch. And then Replicate on that one. That gives us draw 2 cards, gain 5 block, deal 6 damage. Let's immediately compile another function. This is an attack, yes. Just so we have that in the deck for later. Now we have Replicate. Definitely use the Delayed Trace, giving us some block as well. We are still frail. Didn't we get frail last turn? Well, we're full blocked anyways. I'm just gonna put the Terminator in there because we're gonna end this fight as soon as we compile the next function, I assume. Draw 2 cards, gain 5 block, deal 6 damage. And then another 17 will end the fight. It feels pretty powerful right now. Child class. Function gains play again. Play this again. In code. What? The function gains play this again? Well, you only have 2 effects, but they trigger twice. That seems amazing. Bronze Scales. Start each combat with 3 thorns. Very fitting for the bronze automaton. Not the thorns. I mean the bronze part. Child class used to lead to a super easy infinite. Okay. Huh. I think I'm gonna upgrade Branch here, just to increase the numbers on it a bit. It made a copy of the function, which withdraw 2 0 cost deal damage. Yeah, I can imagine that would lead to an easy infinite. Play this again seems a bit safer. Makes it a bit harder to get the infinite, but still possible, I think. Definitely backtrace. Yeah, let's use that. Play this again is a lot of damage. Sneaky clone. What else do we want in there? Terminator, of course. That's just 42 damage. Shell. Gain a blur. Compile, gain a blur. Fortify. Deal 4 damage 2 times. Compile, gain 2 dex. Like that, but it's expensive and makes the function expensive as well. Because it takes the highest cost. But I like the idea of gaining dex. Shell doesn't change anything on upgrade. It's 0 cost right now. On upgrade, it stays 0 cost, but the 0 is green. Huh. Not sure if we want Fortify. The damage is decent. Gains you 2 dex, but it makes the function 2 cost. Which can be a bit of a downside. I'm still gonna take it and try it out. We don't have a lot of gold to go for a shop, so... Oh, breaking the emerald is now 100 souls. Okay. I kinda want retain on child class. Because I don't want to use it... In longer fights I don't want to use it with backtrace. In shorter fights I'm obviously totally okay with that. Cut through. Deal 5 damage, scry 2, compile, draw a card. Okay. Apply 1 weak to all enemies. In code. Upgrades to 2 weak, that will be nice. Overheat. Take 4 damage, deal 18 damage. Compile, insert a burn plus. Goes to 22 damage. Yeah, I can see why this class has access to Repulsor. I'm gonna go with the Deprecate. Weakness is nice to have access to. We're a bit limited in energy here. But Safeguard already defends us. But if we make a function with Fortify in it, we can't immediately play it. Let's start with a go-to actually. Let's go to Safeguard Terminator. Then make another function with Delayed Slice, Backtrace, Replicate. That one's gonna be 0 cost. And this wins us the fight on turn 1. Yeah, that character seems a bit busted right now, but we'll see. Upgrade the next 3 cards here in code that can be upgraded. Huh. Return. Gain an energy and draw an additional card at the next start for your next X turns. Gain an energy. Exhaust. Stops exhausting on upgrade. How good is that? That's actually decent. I think. I'm gonna try it out. Colorless Potion over Flex. Flex actually seems really good for this character. Over Liquid Bronze. Before you realize an elaborate shrine, let's remove a strike from our deck. I'm fine with the Fortify function exhausting. So let's go Backtrace, Fortify, Sneaky Fortress, and Replicate. Let's use the weaker one with the stronger compile effect instead. And that's actually lethal. Sticky Shield, gain 11 block, insert a slimed. More insertion of negative effects. Front load, gain 12 block, compile, function gains retain. Interesting. And there's also overheat. Would like some more defense. Let's take a front load. It's gonna make an expensive function, but yeah. Yeah, strength on Automaton seems very good. I do agree with that. We have delayed slice and we can use it immediately. So let's try to take out a couple of enemies here. That actually retains. Sticky shield, delayed guard. Next turn gain 7 block and code. Next turn gain 7 block. And another Terminator. Next turn gain 7 block. I'm gonna take that. Not sure how useful this is gonna be. Think I'm gonna save the backtrace. I'm gonna make a very defensive function here. That's compile gain a frail. We don't gain it immediately. Safeguard D. Gain 9 block, next turn gain 5 block. Apply 1 weak to all enemies. Reasonable card. Let's keep the weak up. Oh. This enemy has changed a bit, I think. They have champion belt. Bash, dramatic entrance, out of 4. Okay. I think a big part of this of this current version of the beta is reworked bosses. Enemies weakened didn't tick down. The vulnerability and... well, the vulnerability should be 1 higher with the bash. Are these damage numbers correct? They shouldn't be green at the very least if the enemy is weakened. But let's see. Which... I think we replicate first. I'm fine with the replicate exhausting and finish with the Terminator. To just get an aggressive card here. We have 12 block already, so we might not need as much block this turn. I do want to play my sneaky copy. I'm gonna return for the an extra draw next turn, and then defend is only 3 block. Enemies hitting me for 20, but at least they're trashing their deck. Should I just encode a go-to? There are still a few good 0 costs in the deck. I didn't draw them though. Okay, I have options here. Power through second wind? Enemy is doing a big block turn, huh? You know what? I kinda wanna have a child class front load fortify compiled, but that seems impossible right now. We would need to have... yeah, that doesn't work. Kinda want the attack compiled. But I guess we have the block, that's also not terrible. Draw 2, gain 7, play this again, that seems very good. Let's put a fortify up there. What do we want with the fortify? The front lobe for sure. And I guess the delayed slice is fine. Next turn gain 7 block. I don't think I need to play the running clone right now. Let's use the safeguard. Solid slice. Let's compile this. So we gain 2 decks. That's 8, 11, 17 damage right now. Immolate, seeing red. They are playing out the Icky. Okay. 24 block, so let's just defend here. Might as well play this. Oh! I just realized that they are trashing my deck with their cards. That's pretty evil. I like it though. Fancy. It's a neat way of including these status cards in the Downfall boss fights. Yeah, safeguard wasn't needed. Incoming is 7, they do have a decay. They also seem to include the debuffs, the statuses in their own deck as well. So that's pretty fair at least. Let's use Running Clone to draw new cards and then defend us. Alright. Powerful True Grit. They really try to let the burn do their damage. I'm gonna retain this. Just for the block next turn. I could do damage right now though. I have 9 block next turn. Sure. Uh-oh. Oh, that's scary. Good thing we have Running Clone. A wound, a burn, and a dazed. Uh-oh. 27 block. That's not even close to full defending here. We can't really get through their armor this turn anyway, so... Second wind. 12 damage. I think I didn't do a great job of compiling my cards correctly here. Copying copy. Safeguards. Wrong turn for that one. Sturdy copy does have retain. Gonna go with safeguard for the block next turn. Keep the copy in my sturdy copy in my hand. Enemy is attacking for 15 and applying 3 vulnerability this turn. My deck has been utterly trashed here. Another big block turn. Did they exhaust their defend instead of the wound? Interesting. Copying copy. And the game crashed. On the kill, the game crashed.